Okay guys, welcome back to This Week in BJJ. I'm Budo Jake, and I'm very happy to have Gustavo Dantas here, the BJJ mental coach. He has 25 years in Jiu-Jitsu. He's a 1997 purple belt world champion, 1998 brown belt world champion. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he's going to be sharing some cool stuff with you here today. Gustavo, during our interview, you talked about after you lose a match or lose a tournament, going back and analyzing what went wrong. And sometimes it's a mental problem, sometimes it's a technical problem. Let's talk about the technical problems for a moment. How do you go back and actually analyze what your technical mistake was?
So what I try to do, so today we're not gonna talk so much about, I wanna show you moves, or I just wanna try to share my view, my point of view, especially related to competition in Jiu-Jitsu. Try to break down, try to find the source of the problem. Let's say you lost because someone passed your guard, right? Now you need to, very often people come to me, Gustavo, can you show me the side mount escape? Man, I've keeping getting stuck in there all the time. Be like, well, are you playing guard? Like, yes. So this is the deal. We all need to learn how to get back to the guard and everything. It's pretty basic. Either turn your knees or you get back to the guard. But this is not gonna solve the problem. You need to find the source of the problem. What went wrong? You need to understand the key points of whatever guard you're playing. So the concepts that I'm going to share today, you can apply in really any situation. That's what I try to do. So little by little, I'm gonna talk a lot, you're gonna hear me say about awareness. And it's something very tough to teach, awareness, because it takes time, experience, and knowledge to recognize the positions, recognize situations. So we're gonna use, for example, throughout the presentation here, I'll show different situations. But let's say De La Riva. Let's say Jake has set up his De La Riva, and now let's say you're in the bottom, you're playing. So as soon as you engage in playing your De La Riva, you have key points. Whatever guard you're trying to use, there are key points, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you got to make sure that you have the proper keys, because sometimes you could be grabbing, but you're grabbing wrong things. But as long as you have everything set, we can start to see where you're going to start attacking. So if you had your guard pat, something happened. That could be that one key point was missing. Per se, you're playing De La Riva, but you completely just not even watching, and you don't have this hand here. You know? The guy drops in a leg drag, and now you ask me for the side mount escape. Be like, well, you had no grip. So that starts with a problem. So identifying whatever guard you're playing, it doesn't matter. You know, you're playing, maybe you're playing spider, you know, but you're here, but maybe your foot is like too up high, and I'm just doing this here. And I'm on the side mount escape. No, like your foot is not in a proper way. It might be close, but it's not exactly where it should be. So you need to start addressing that, because when something happens that, in this case, let's say I'm passing, most likely there was something was missing, like a grip was missing, a key point was missing, or everything was fine, but I addressed the mistake. Like here, he's doing, and I addressed this, and now I can attack. So he needs to what? Try to get back as soon as possible. Or a very important thing in high-level jiu-jitsu, attacking in transitions. I talk about this every single day with my students. For instance, let's say we got this De La Riva going. Everything here is tight. You know, it's not like I'm just gonna blast through his guard, and right away I'm addressing, I got rid of one key point. So I'm here. Now he's not thinking about attacking, he's thinking about switching, doing something else. So I need to start catching him on this transition. In the middle of his doing this, high level guys, that's what they're looking for. Sometimes he's here and he decides that he's gonna go to my sleeve to play something else. And then I can attack. So high level guys are looking for those small windows. So one of the things that I mention a lot to my students every day about windows. So for all the beginners out there, think about this. You're in a room, closed room, and then there are all kinds of windows. And then I tell you, your job is just get out of this room. So this window is open, and you go through, great. You know, can jump out of this one, that one. And then as soon as you start getting to blue belt level, you're like, oh, that window is closed. That used to be open. It's not anymore. And as the the belts, progress and go move up. By the time you get to a black belt, and not even say sometimes a black belt, I'm solid, competitive purple belt with a strong knowledge and awareness, you're gonna look around like, all the windows are closed. I gotta find a way to jam one up. And then you open, like, finally I open. It's like this. I did this, like, finally. And then he goes like, boom, right back, like, crap, the window just closed again, which means there are small windows with a short amount of time to go through. As soon as you open, you go. You don't have time to wait, because the best guys in the business do not give opening. I was talking with Jake about Leandro Lo, which I believe that's one of the best passers in the business. His awareness, it's on point. He blitzes people like nobody else because he's always looking for the tiny transition. You let him go from here to here, boom, he's hitting, he's blitzing. And understand the difference in blitzing and spazzing. Wait. This here, I'm spazzing. Like when you get rid of something, like here, now we can start going faster. So you need to make sure that in order to blitz someone, you need to get rid of key points. So it's this constant battle of finding the key points. So whatever happens, so if you lost in a tournament, someone passed, let's say you're playing your guard, most likely you didn't manage your distance well. Wrong grips, maybe you're supposed to push, you pull, vice versa or whatever. But I guarantee you that if you move back, look for the key points of whatever position you decided to play, and that applies to the top two. Someone put a specific guard. What are my key points to handle that type of specific guard? So I mentioned to you, I think I mentioned to you when you came to Arizona, from living in the United States now for 15 years, you start to kind of adapt with the culture. And I like football, American football. And I start to make an analogy to students, and a lot of people get it. So if you do like football, that's something that maybe it can help. If not, I kind of explain a little bit what I'm going to say. But I play Jiu-Jitsu like a quarterback, which means my brain is my quarterback, and my hands, my feet, my hip, they're my players, right? So it takes a long time to become a great quarterback. It takes a long time to build your playbook. Inside your playbook, you have all kinds of formations. There are different systems. And all those formations, they lead to different plays. They are according to how the defenses position themselves, right? Like the same way they have I formation, split back, shotgun. In Jiu-Jitsu, you have mount, back, spider guard, half guard. They're all different systems itself. They need to master each one. Like the mount, you need to know how to maintain, how to get out, high percentage moves. What about if it's doing this, if it's this? And if it turns the back, and I would take the back, now we're dealing with a different system. So I teach in my school, like understanding different systems. How well can you put those systems together? About to start the play. Quarterback looks, one of his players like this. One of his linemen just kind of hanging out and be like, yo, get in position, which means the hand is here. You got it here, because if you start the play, odds are against you. Probably something's gonna go bad, because if you're not ready to defend yourself, you're not ready to attack. So they need to it's everyone ready to go. Let's go, let's start the play. If you don't like what you see, how the defenses position themselves, and then you can audible and maybe play a different system. But usually I try to say that when I play specific guard, I try to have different attacks with that kind of mentality based on what the defense is giving to me. Because the linebacker is in one position, what is he going to do? Is he going to drop back, or is he going to blitz? I need to know. That's going to depend. That's going to change what I'm trying to do. And the same thing, I'm playing a spider guard. Like, hey, which leg is forward? The right or the right? Is the elbow in or out? Can I shoot? Is the knee up or down? It all different. It changed my attacks. So my job is try to get my students to build a solid playbook, and it takes years to master each position, to really know. And sometimes people try to do too much stuff at the same time, and end up getting overwhelmed with learning all kinds of guards the same time. But it's like you got maybe a spider guard and you know the basic attack, maybe 5 or 6 from their different situations, how the defense usually can position themselves, and you try to master those and improve your retention, how to keep your guard. And with that, it's gonna help you to transfer to the top and use the same mentality. So I try to tell my students that try to get a hurry up offense style, which is get to your grips as quick as you can. And if you, as soon as you get there and your opponent's not ready, snap the ball and go. Because if they get lined up, you don't wanna just get everything ready and they are not ready. And you just wait, okay, let's just wait for him to get the grips. Like, no, there's a reason why I do hurry up offense. It's just catch people with not being prepared. So I always try to keep this kind of concept of, let's say it could be a spider that I'm here. As soon as I land, I'm ready getting my grip, and I'm gonna look, where is he doing? Like, is he leading with this leg? Can I go shin on shin? Can I go here? He posture up, he's leading with the other leg. Here, I might have to switch, start playing something else. Didn't work, maybe go to a different system, or move back. Is he kneeling? Okay, now I start my attacks, boom. Here, I start kind of going, so this kind of goes into my visualization process too. That's what, I mean, it works for me. Everything that I'm sharing is just stuff that it works for me and works for my students. But I like when I visualize the type of a game plan to be able to, hey, if he leads with his leg, usually this is my favorite one, and some people are just not analytical like that. This is just my style. And what happened this weekend is 5 minutes is short. Splinter did a good job in the first minute and a half, super tight, and I didn't have any opening. And usually I have my transition that if someone shut me down, I'm gonna play this specific guard. Butterfly just happened at the end because he dropped to his knees. But before he was standing, and I'm like, man, I'm not feeling I just wasn't feeling the opening. And then I tried to cross guard. And then he kind of bailed and came up and I pulled again. And so, but it was like, now a different system. He shut me down, but I totally agree when you said that it should have switched earlier. I definitely should, but I just didn't see the angle. The opening wasn't there.
And nobody knows unless you're on the mat.
Exactly. So what I want people to be more aware, it's awareness of positions. To when something happening in training, you go back and be like, why did I land at this position? What went wrong? What key element was missing? What key point was missing? And then you can move back and start working towards improvement. And start paying attention and attacking in transition. If you're gonna look at high level, I guarantee you that something's gonna happen from the time that you're here to here. Something's gonna happen. A guy like Leandro Lo, yeah, it's gonna be all over you. That's where, I was mentioning, like anybody who can stop Leandro from passing or not even forcing all fours, man, has a really good guard because that dude has really good eyes to blitz people. And I appreciate like little things like that, guys with a good jiu-jitsu that I really try to study. That's a great example there. But trying to look into that awareness, how you're gonna transfer that to your game. And if you wanna use that kind of football mentality, it is see as different systems, and you're gonna master different formations. They're going to lead to different plays, and it comes down in jiu-jitsu to high low percentage moves. Nothing jiu-jitsu is impossible. This is the truth. Everything can happen, but just snap the ball. The quarterback looking one side, there's one dude like this, and there's two guys right there double covering one of the wide receiver, and you're like, I'm gonna go with the guy with double coverage. Is it impossible? No, but odds are against you. That's the same thing inside the guard. And this dude, it's like try to choke and leaning forward, and then people are like, dude, the arm. I'm like, no, I want to choke. I want to choke. And like, well, I mean, maybe you can get it. I don't know. Probably not. Odds are against you. Nothing is impossible. But hey, most likely, the arm is the guy that is like this. You know, you decide if you want to throw it there. That is totally up to you or not. So make sure that it's I see jiu-jitsu. Some people may not like that, you know, with the fight and the martial arts. Let's be honest, it's a game. You know, we're both trying to, there are rules. Rules are meant to be used. Use them. It is what it is. People may like it, may even don't. You know, amateur boxing, there are rules. There's a game. There's things that you can do. Point karate, there are things that you can do. In jiu-jitsu, the same way. People have different opinions about this, but I think the IBJJF is doing what they can. They're always willing to make changes. They're never gonna make everyone happy, but they're always trying to adjust the best way the sport is evolving, and they try like, man, what can we do to keep up with them? Yeah. You know, we can just say like, oh, you can't do that. You know, we just can't, because it's against our beliefs. And I don't know, again, I respect, but I just understand that the sport's evolving. Media and internet, people have access to it. People being extremely creative, and they're doing. I feel that they're doing a good job keeping up. So not necessarily I wanted to show today a technique, but just share my point of view of things that you should look into to analyze a technical mistake.
Well, Gustavo, you got a great mind for jiu-jitsu, and you're showing that you can, how the viewer can use competition footage to really learn a lot. It's not just about watching who wins or loses. It's not just for entertainment. You can learn a lot from watching.
Let me actually just trigger me something real quick. One of the tips that I give to my students, this is me saying as a jiu-jitsu nerd. When I study, there's times that we just kind of just browse and just kind of look. There's one thing you just kind of watch it, and it is study. When it's studying time, I watch 3 times, regardless of the length. If it's 10 minutes, that means I have to commit half an hour I'm watching. The first time I watch just one guy. I just watch it, I'm just like this, watching the hand. He's here to hit. Why? Why did he do that? People don't cut angles and change grids for the hell of it. They're up to something, and I want to know what they're doing. So I just keep watching, 6 minutes down, reload, and now 6 minutes the other guy. What he's doing, and then the final, I put both together, and then I see it, and that's how you see different patterns, and how that's why a lot of the guys that study my jiu-jitsu, Gustavo Dantas Jiu-Jitsu, my association, it's a big mix of, let's say, the way that I control the side mount. Well, I have a little detail that Hobson Moore showed me, and I like the shoulder pressure from Roger Gracie, and I got, you know, whatever fits my style, and I show people, hey, people show this way, this is what works for me. And then I show, okay, this week, the topic of 2 weeks is pressure passing. You're gonna do Lucas Lepre style. You know, I like a lot his variations, everything, how tight he is, and I'm like, okay, see this here? Bam, that's where he got this. Here. Now we're doing a speed passing game, and you do this. Or maybe there's some specific passing style. I like Guilherme Mendes passing. I go and I'm like, hey, this here, and I like Rafael, and there's so many amazing people out there to learn from.
You know, everybody's proud of their lineage. They're proud of their teacher, their teacher's teacher. But it would be crazy not to learn from all these other guys. Imagine any other sport in the world. Imagine a basketball player saying, no, I'm just listening to my high school coach. I'm not going to watch what Michael Jordan's doing. Yeah. No way, it wouldn't happen. We should learn from all these guys that are putting it on the line in the world championships every year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm always, now people have been working more with lapel, so that means I got to study more, you know. I'm not crazy about it, but some of my students, you know, like, and usually we train, they start getting the lapel, just give to them. Like, go ahead. I'm not going to be like, we're going to have to deal with it anyways. At some point, you're going to get to the term. So just, okay, go ahead, do it, and let's deal with it. And then start playing around and call like lab with positions, and just be open mind. But be careful with the online. You know, sometimes people get too caught up in learning the techniques. I think competition footage is the way to go. But you need to have really good awareness to learn. Otherwise, you just, things pass by. My students are getting very good at this, because sometimes I get a tricky transition, something very small, and I just let it play, and then I'll pause, like, what happened? And then someone say exactly what I want, which back then it wasn't. They would just pass by. So that means their awareness of getting better. It's always like, bam, caught in transition. You know, the leg go from here to here. You know, little tiny things like that, man, and how just looking different sides, how loose that I'm feeling themselves on the mat. And I think the number one guy in the business, in my opinion, is Buchecha. As far as his style, you can see that the way he trains, that's the way he competes, and he take risks in crazy positions that some people be like, man, I would never try this in a tournament, and he just goes for it. So amazing pace. That dude is the number one in my of course, I mean, the numbers don't, you know, lie, but I love how natural he feels on the mat. I really appreciate that in a competitor.
Gustavo, we could be here all day. I love talking with you. Thanks so much for coming on. If guys want to learn more about you or get your new DVD set, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can go to the BJJmentalcoach.com. The DVDs are coming out November 21st. And this is something, as I mentioned, it's a 4-disc DVD. I put 25 years of my life into the DVD, all the frustrations, all the success, all the lessons that I learned in my life through competition. I'm trying to share with people, and it's an amazing feeling that I have to share with my students every day. And now I'm willing to spread this with the world and get the word out, and people will see the BJJ Mental Coach movement that I call, because it's represent an idea that when you see this patch, that people that believe that, man, I'm trying to do the best, perform to the best of my ability, do the best that I can be on and off the mat, get the same skills that you're going to develop that, and get to your personal life with the tools that you have now. And this, for me, it's, again, I want to set the example. Anytime I can compete, I will. And if I can spread the message speaking, doing presentations, so be it. I never thought I was going to be a public speaker, especially in second language, but this is something that is a passion that I want to spread the message and let people believe in their dreams, believe in themselves, and that if you commit, you make a decision on what you want. You commit, you made a decision, that's number one. That's it, that you want. You take action, not for 1 week or 2 weeks. You take actions along whatever it takes. And you take the first step of persistence equals outcome. Maybe sometimes going to be the one that you want or not, but I guarantee you that in this journey, you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to grow a lot as a human being. And I'm a living proof of it, and I love it.
Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Gustavo said it all. See you next time on This Week in BJJ.
That concludes this installment of This Week in BJJ. Watch and review past episodes on iTunes and YouTube. And then be sure to join us again right here for another live edition of This Week in BJJ. Brought to you by BudoVideos.com.